wonderful good morning, good afternoon and good evening to everyone around the world. Welcome to the BMW Startup Garage Sustainability Challenge live from the IAA Mobility 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, the future is in our hands, and I guess we all agree it's high time to take action. And as Albert Einstein once said, we cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. That means that we need new solutions. We need to seize new opportunities in order to tackle existing challenges. And we need all together shape a better future. We need to shape a smarter, connected world where safety, sustainability and efficiency are more relevant than ever before. We agree up to that point, but the billion or trillion-dollar question is how? Well, I'd say to not only meet future needs, but to shape the future, to be a trendsetter, not a follower, to be a step ahead in that technology curve out there, we need to keep an open mind, be agile, think outside the box, and most importantly, don't try this alone. We need to team up with the right people. We need to find the right partners from entirely different backgrounds and entirely different industries to get this done. And this is exactly what BMW Startup Garage is all about. So today, you will figure out how the BMW Startup Garage is making tomorrow's mobility more sustainable, and you will meet and get to know our best of the best. 6 top startups from around the world that will be here on this stage, chosen from 259 registrations from 48 countries. So now to figure out a bit more about BMW's sustainability strategy and the idea behind the Startup Garage concept, let me invite to the stage BMW's Senior Vice President New Technologies and China, Rudi Benker. Rudi, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Desiree. Thank you very much. Hello also from my side. And a very warm welcome here to our very, very first BMW Startup Pitch event, taking place here live. You hear live? At the IAA Mobility 2021. And let me explain. When I think about startups, I have some very big and successful companies in mind. And the reason for this is, when I was young, these companies started their business in small garages. And now some of them are very successful and very, very famous global players.
That's true. Like 2 years ago, they started in a garage, and now already.
Yes, that was young, exactly.
Yes, and it's not the only first here. It's also the first IAA taking place in Munich in its 124 years of this trade show's history. So first home game for BMW, probably not the only reason why the BMW Group is the largest exhibitor here at this major event. And when you look back in history, the BMW Group has often been a pioneer, and the Startup Garage is no difference and is no exception. So this is, Rudi, correct me if I'm wrong, the world's very first venture client approach.
Exactly.
And during the past 6 years, discovered more than 5,000 very promising startups.
Exactly.
Quite something. So please tell us a bit more about the concept behind this fantastic idea.
Yeah, I will do this. So the BMW Startup Garage is the BMW Group's venture client. And in the early phase, the startups often don't have market-ready products yet. So when the risks are very huge, the Startup Garage commissions the projects with them, hence the name venture client. And the advantage of this approach is that it gives the BMW Group a very early access to these innovations, and these innovations can then be tailored to customer-specific needs as they progress towards market readiness. And for the this startups, on the other hand, they benefit, of course, from a very professional relation with their first customers, gaining insights into automotive processes, networks with relevant BMW departments, and their first market feedback.
That sounds very good, very promising for both sides. Can you give us a bit more, examples for the benefits
Yeah.
for the BMW Group to
Yeah.
look for innovations
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
the company?
So, as a leading provider of premium personal mobility, we think it's important to, let's say, to extend or to complement your innovativeness with external sources, from input from external sources. And startups help us very much to develop a much more better understanding um, from sustainable and connected, and of course also personal future mobility. And they also help us to stay at the forefront of innovation and technology in the future. And since the Startup Garage was founded in 2015, startups have provided us a lot of really very good and important ideas, mainly for our products and services. But not only for products and services, but also to areas that are not directly related to the products. So, such as logistics or production, for example.
Fantastic. And the BMW Garage is based here in Munich, right?
Yes, but not only. Let me explain. The BMW Group has let's say, a global technology scouting network. And the BMW Startup Garage operates in technology hotspots. So, and they are working in very small but very agile teams. So the main office in Garching, here nearby Munich, is not the only location. So we have locations, we have technology offices all around the world. For example, in the Silicon Valley, Mountain View, Shanghai, Seoul, Tokyo, and also Tel Aviv.
Okay, makes sense. You're a global talent scout on the
Yeah.
move around the
Yeah.
globe. Also, sustainability, of course, is a global issue. It is the major topic here of IAA Mobility
Yeah.
2021 for the BMW Group. It's nothing new. You are working on your sustainability strategy not only for years, but for decades already.
Yeah.
So, could you tell us a bit more about this holistic approach to
Yeah.
sustainability?
Yeah, very important topic. So personally, I'm a really firm believer that the fight against climate change and also the way we use our resources will be fundamental for the future of our society, but also fundamental for the future of the BMW Group. And as a premium manufacturer, especially, of course, we want to be at the lead. We want to be the lead in sustainability. And that's why we are taking responsibility for sustainability, of course. And we are making it our standard for the future. And this new, let's say, strategic focus, let's say, is being established in the whole BMW Group in every division. So from, let's say, administration, purchasing, to development, production, and also sales. And this holistic approach brings sustainability to a very new and very complete and entire new level. And for me personally, very important, new and innovative technologies, they have to play a crucial role in this. Very important.
Can you give us some more facts and figures and numbers about this holistic approach
Yeah.
and its success
Yeah, of course.
so far?
So I think you heard it already very often, but the BMW Group has very clear goals for CO2 reductions up to the year 2030. And for the first time, we cover the entire life cycle of the vehicle. So that means from the value chain to production and also to the utilization of the vehicle. So for 2030, this means that we will reduce the CO2 emissions per vehicle and per kilometer at about 50%.
Wow.
And if you look to the whole life cycle, also again including the value chain and the production, we will reduce it at about 40%. And this is in comparison, that's important, to 2019.
Okay, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about our sustainability challenge, the main reason why we're here today,
Yeah.
of course. And without revealing too much just yet, please, was there something that surprised or impressed you during this preparation process?
Yeah, a lot of things. So I was really very much delighted to see, let's say, such a strong interest, a really strong interest in our 360-degree sustainability challenge. And almost 250 startups from 48 countries signed off for it. That's very, very, very good. And with an average funding of 6.3 million US dollars. And again, as we just talked, impressive evidence that sustainability is from a very high importance, also for emerging companies all over the world. And in my view, when it comes to the challenges around decarbonization, only consuming less will not be the answer. Neither for the society nor for BMW. And that's also important for me personally. Instead, as I already explained, the use of very innovative and very new technologies will support and enable us to continue growing on one hand, but on the other hand, to cut the CO2 emissions. And for this challenge here, we had really a close look to every single startup, and we assessed the relevance to our sustainability strategy, of course. And believe me, choosing now the right ones was a really hard challenge. But for you and for all here today, it's very easy, because you only will see the best of the best.
But you were definitely spoiled with choice, quantity and quality-wise.
Yeah, of course. And so it's my great pleasure today to experience the top candidates live now with you together.
Thank you very much for this insightful introduction. Rudi Becker, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, although, of course, it is the innovative technologies and solutions that convinced our jury, I would like to start by introducing to you the people behind these ideas. Shaping the future is a question of teamwork, and it's the people who make the difference. So, what is their story? What made them who they are today? What triggered the idea or laid the foundation for their company? What's their driver, their motivation to get up in the morning and tackle all challenges and overcome all challenges along the way? Each and every startup representative will now be given 3 minutes to tell their personal story, and I'm really looking forward to this part of today's show. We start with a video conference because unfortunately our first candidate couldn't make it to Munich today. He is in Meridian, Mississippi, United States. His company is called Alix, and the gentleman you're going to spend the next 3 minutes with is Ryan Hunt, your audience.
Hi, my name is Ryan Hunt. I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer of Alix and our brand, Bloom Sustainable Materials. We work with government organizations and private companies to clean air and water by harvesting algae from lakes and water treatment systems. We use extrusion to combine algae biomass with polymers to make resin pellets that can be used as a sustainable ingredient in consumer products such as shoes, yoga mats, and even cars. I've always been fascinated with science, with light and the wonders of biology. But when I looked out into the world, I saw a major looming problem around using non-renewable resources in fuels and materials in essentially every product that we produce. I started reading papers on climate change, on water pollution, and renewable energy. And I started my graduate school research in bioengineering, turning pine trees into green crude oil. I realized how challenging it would be to scale up a brand new technology, but the importance of creating a regenerative solution was so enormous that I had to at least try. Ironically, inspiration came in an unusual way. I was really fascinated with aquatic life. And during college, I had 5 saltwater aquariums, each with its own unique ecosystem and inhabitants. But there was one common denominator: algae blooms. You see, during college, every weekend, my college roommates would go out, they'd go to parties, they'd be out on dates, while I was home literally scrubbing algae off of rocks and trying my best to clean the water in my aquariums. The algae blooms delivered a major blow to my social life because within just a day or two, the algae blooms were right back to where they started. I found studies that showed that algae blooms can grow 10 to 100 times faster than plants and trees. And there's been decades of research on turning algae into biofuels. the sheer numbers are in the favor of algae over any terrestrial or conventional crop that we grow today. I discovered that algae blooms are fundamental to our planet's biosphere, but more recently have become a nuisance and a liability. While the algae are naturally found all over the world, excessive amounts of CO2, a warming climate, and water pollution is causing harmful algae blooms. And these can negatively impact our environment and our society. My research switched focus to generating valuable materials from pollution where we can clean water and draw down CO2 while replacing plastics in consumer products. It was with this inspiration that I co-founded Alix in 2010, and we created our brand Bloom that incentivizes environmental restoration while improving the sustainability of the materials that we use every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A big applause, Ryan. Greetings from Munich. Fantastic story. Our next startup representative couldn't make it to Munich either, but he is eager to speak to you as well. So another video conference is awaiting us with Petah Tikwa in Israel. The founder of Ecotech Recycling will be on air now. Oleg Golobrodsky, your audience.
Hello, my name is Dr. Oleg Golobrodsky. I'm co-founder, co-CEO, and chairman of the board of Ecotech Recycling, an Israeli startup that has created a unique technology and process to manufacture new synthetic rubber from end-of-life tires. Our company's history is extremely personal to me because the original idea of doing something green was conceived by my late father back in 1990s, where he joined forces with 4 engineers from ex-Soviet military industry to create a new technology that would take care of the world's most problematic solid waste, which is, till today, used tires. It was so exciting, so intriguing, so new and interesting to me that I joined forces with them immediately, and since then I was a part of a team that has developed and created this technology. Unfortunately, back in 1996, my father passed away, so I took the reins and I relocated the R&D center and all the efforts from ex-Soviet Union countries to Israel, where I met my current partner Gideon that helped me to pass the law to recycle tires in Israel, and the rest is history. We have assembled a great multidisciplinary team of engineers, chemists, physicists that helped us to create a technology and a process that actually takes care of the waste problem and creates a new synthetic rubber, each ton of which actually bears 6 tons of carbon credits. So our customers can offset their carbon presence, which is the great news for anybody who takes care of environment and who cares about our world and cares about what planet we will be passing to our children. Our development has resulted in filing 22 patent applications, 18 of which have been granted already, from European Union to United States, from Israel to China and India, in major markets and in major industries. Currently, Ecotech has perfected our technology and product, and our product really resembles and really is comparable to new virgin material, and we are currently involved in several very advanced testing processes with 7 tire manufacturers around the world, with 3 major automotive groups based in US and in Europe, and with 3 conveyor belting companies. And probably the most exciting part for us is that we started several testing processes to incorporate our recycled material in the process of manufacturing new virgin elastomers, actually closing the loop of rubber recycling and creating a green elastomer that incorporates a high percentage of recycled material. Our vision for Ecotech is to reach a significant percentage of the rubber market by replacing very pollutive virgin elastomers by recycled and fully recyclable material. And we strongly believe in doing good by doing right. And so, for me personally, Ecotech is both the way to fulfill my father's legacy and bring our own personal contribution towards the carbon neutrality for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oleg. Another beautiful and very personal story. Thank you for taking us on this journey with you. It's great to have you on board. Well, the next speaker will be live on stage. He is from London, England. His company is Circular. His name is Douglas Johnson Panskin, and I've been waiting to say these words for quite a while. Douglas, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Doug Johnson Panskin, and I'm co-founder and chief exec of Circular. And someone once said to me, you need to be a little bit mad to be a founder of a startup, a high-growth technology startup. I started my career as a bomb disposal officer, so I'm hoping that qualifies me as a little bit mad. But in my time in the military, and this was sort of 25 years ago, I spent time in Africa, and I saw firsthand, child labor and also some of the extreme environmental damage caused by, things like artisanal mining and other activities of the extractive industries. And really, that's one of the starting themes behind this business. We work in supply chains to track raw materials from their source, which could be from artisanal mine sites in places like the Congo, or from recycled material, e-waste, for example, or scrap batteries, all the way through complex industrial supply chains. We give those commodities a digital identity and attach to that digital identity data about, for example, carbon emissions or water use. And the reason this is important to car manufacturers like BMW on their journey to sustainability is that you cannot manage something you cannot measure. In the past, car manufacturers have not really needed to look all the way back to a tier 8 supplier, perhaps at a mine site in the Congo, to understand where things came from and also the total embedded carbon. But as we all know as consumers, that the energy transition, the move to electric vehicles, for example, is supposed to make the planet better. 8 global supply chains account for 50% of all global carbon emissions. And so, we collectively as consumers increasingly want to see that we can find a way to address some of those really difficult challenges beyond the behaviors that we ourselves can consume. I've always been interested in technology and always believed that new technologies can unlock old problems in new ways. And that really is how we started this business. We got interested in things like machine learning and blockchain and IoT and how they might be combined together with existing technologies like traditional databases, and how you might therefore be able to build trust in very distributed global supply chains. That's what we do. A few years on, we're now 5 years into our journey. We're working with car manufacturers like BMW and others to try and see into these global supply chains to manage some of these risks around responsible sourcing and climate change in entirely new ways. I have very young children. It's something I'm proud to tell them that I'm working on, because I think they're going to grow up into a world where we as adults have to have got a grip of this. Thank you very much.
Well, we thank you very much, Douglas. Beautiful story, thank you. And ordinary is boring, so mad is good, yes. Our next startup founder is from Rien in Switzerland. His company is Microwave Solutions. Florian Tork, your stage.
Thank you very much. My name is Florian, co-founder and CEO of Microwave Solutions. We are a circular tech startup. With our advanced microwave plasma and pulse technology, you can make carbon circular and you can create advanced carbon-based materials. So let me give you an example. You can break anti-tires down into the individual chemical building blocks, like limonene, for example, different monomers, and you can value enhance recovered materials into functional silica, for example, or convert the graphene, the carbon into graphene. This way, you can keep the carbonaceous materials in play and you can achieve material efficiency. That's not only important for sustainable mobility. That is a responsibility I feel as well as a father of two wonderful children. We have to leave the planet in a better way than we found it. It's a responsibility I feel as an economist. We cannot consume more resources than Earth can regenerate, and with that leave an ecological depth to other communities and other generations. It's a responsibility I feel as a professor. I'm training the next generation of leaders to take action and lead the transformation towards a sustainable and just generation future we need. 3 things defining me. And I've always pushed the boundaries of sustainable products, sustainable production, as well as sustainable ways of working. But there was one boundary I was not able to overcome. The boundary of technology. Yes, there have been very specific technologies, maybe not with the quality of the materials I needed, but when you have complex products with many different materials and many different components, you cannot have a different technology for each of those different materials and components, particularly when you continuously innovate. I needed a technology which was agile, which was agnostic to the feedstock, agile to move with me with the innovation I was doing. And that is where the story of our startup has started. It has started with a spark, and the spark has been an egg, a normal chicken egg. And this egg came out of a microwave reactor. So the interesting thing is, the egg was still raw. The proteins were still intact. But all these salmonellas in the egg, they were eliminated through targeted energy delivery. And the same for 24,000 eggs in an hour, and the same when they were still in plastic. Magic, the reaction for my children and for me. Microwave science, the explanation from the engineers behind it. The building block of an egg, as of life as we know it, is carbon. And carbon is a semiconductor, and as a semiconductor, it is absorbing energy extremely well. So well that you can reach levels at which you dissociate molecules, you cut bonds, you can nucleate particles, you can grow new materials. Was that the mechanism I was looking for, which would be able to generate an agile technology? So now 2.5 years later, we're here with an agile modular tech stack supporting many different use cases of sustainable mobility. Carbon is not only the building block of life. Its users are continuing to shape human history. Circular carbon and carbon-based materials is not only the next exciting chapter in this history, it is not only the next chapter we can write together, it is a chapter our children will tell their children and their grandchildren. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Did you also find out which came first, chicken or egg? Not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet.
good. Next, we have another video call with the United States, this time Mountain View in California, to meet the founder of Skyool Systems. The sky is the limit for Ashwath Raman.
Hello, my name is Ashwath Raman. I'm the co-founder and chief science officer of Skyool Systems, a startup that's commercializing a revolutionary approach to passive cooling that could improve the efficiency of every air conditioning and refrigeration system today. Now, I grew up in a notoriously cold place, the Canadian prairies, but nearly every summer I would visit my grandparents in a hot tropical climate, that of Mumbai in India. I would complain bitterly to them that they did not have an air conditioner, but they were very puzzled by this complaint because back then in the early 90s, it was very uncommon for middle and even upper class Indian families to own an air conditioner. But this has changed, and dramatically. Today, air conditioning and refrigeration systems collectively account for about 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions. But this is projected to grow 6-fold by the year 2050, primarily driven by increased demand in countries like India, as well as throughout Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Now, I began thinking about the problem of cooling not from this own personal experience alone, but also from the perspective of that of a scientist. I'm an applied physicist who thinks a lot about how materials interact with light and heat. And around 2012, I came across references to this seemingly magical phenomenon called radiative cooling. In this phenomenon, which is entirely natural, surfaces that are exposed to the night sky have been known for centuries to cool down below the ambient temperature that surrounds them entirely passively. So just think about this. How can surfaces that are outside, just looking at the sky, cool themselves down to below their surroundings? This struck me as almost too good to be true, but it turned out to be a really straightforward, physically understandable phenomenon that climate scientists and meteorologists have known about for a very long time. Technologically, it had never been leveraged to enable more efficient cooling systems. And part of the problem, the central problem that we realized when we started working on this, was that this approach to cooling only worked at night. In fact, historically, this approach was called night sky cooling, with the implicit assumption being that this was only going to work at night. Of course, that's a problem for cooling. We need it most during the day. So back in 2012 and 2013, along with my colleagues, we developed a revolutionary material-based approach to enabling this during the day. And from that has generated a great deal of demand and interest in how this technology could improve the efficiency of cooling systems today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashwat. And last but not least, our next guest on this stage comes from Amiens, France. The company he is CEO to is Tiamat. He will need an extra applause to come to the stage. You will see why in a second. Hervé Boeuf.
Thank you so much. I feel weird to be hardly able to move in this mobility temple, the IAA. Anyway, my name is Hervé Boeuf and I'm the CEO of Tiamat, our French startup company that designs, produces power batteries made out of sodium ion. This one. What this battery can do is that it's able to be charged in less than 10 minutes. So within 3 startup pitches, you'll have it completely charged from 0 to 100%. Well, I could end my speech now because it's good enough, but there is definitely more to come. The IAA is a great European event where all the European manufacturers are here. We mainly are Europeans around here, and myself, I spent 20 years in the European industry too. What I've seen there, and what we all see, is that how difficult it is to not rely on capacities coming from outside Europe. Even those crushers on which I rely on are made partly out of Europe. So I've always wanted to change it. So when the opportunity came to me to join Tiamat as an industrial director, I decided to seize it without any hesitation. Because Tiamat cell has no lithium, no cobalt, no nickel. And it relies on abundant resources that can be extracted, that can be synthesized independently everywhere around the world, and especially in Europe. Our raw material, though, is made in La Rochelle, in France. Tiamat shareholders recently decided to nominate me as a CEO of the company to bring it to the industrialization and commercialization level. Having been an employee for 20 years without any entrepreneurship experience at all, I felt a huge pressure overnight. But I accepted the challenge and the mission to transform a great scientific discovery into an industrial success story. So raising money, finding subcontracting capacities, managing IP, settle the supply chain, negotiate contracts. This is what I had to learn in a very, very short period of time to do. But there is nothing my team and I can't do when it comes to contributing to a greener world that will generate future employment in Europe too. I sincerely believe Europe missed the train 30 years ago by not bringing battery discoveries to the industrial level. Capacity investments are ongoing now, but for mainstream technology, and I'm not sure sovereignty is guaranteed for these activities. We have a chance to catch up with this technology, this European technology. So let us not let it go. So thank you, and I hope we'll meet again next year at the IAA. I may not depend anymore on those crushers, and by working together with BMW Group, I hope part of your battery supply may not depend anymore on critical material too. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Hervé. It's great to have you here. Do you need assistance?
No, that will be okay.
Okay,
Thank you very
perfect.
much.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we have talked a lot about the startups and about the startup garage idea. Now I'd say it's time to talk with BMW's Startup Garage, and therefore let me invite to the stage the head of BMW Startup Garage, Bernhard Schambeck, and lead startup programs, Melanie Rösler. Bernhard, Melanie, it's great to have you on the stage, and thank you for organizing this fantastic event. It's really a great opportunity, I'd say, for everyone in the room and out there, wherever you are. So, Bernhard, Rudi gave us already a few insights on the advantages for the BMW Group of this concept. Would you like to elaborate on that from your perspective?
Sure, of course. Thank you for the introduction. So, the key to a successful partnership, let me start with that, is building a trusted and really committed partnership. And this is the core and the goal we are trying to achieve at the BMW Startup Garage, building a trusted and committed partnership to foster innovation for BMW. So our program is based basically on two core aspects. First is we're trying to connect the best people from BMW and from the startup. So connecting product excellence, people are really able to validate the technology so we can start a pilot project fastly. And the second is building up this trusting and committed partnership, which goes far beyond the pilot project, and to help startups really to overcome all the obstacles on the way to serious production. So together, we can deliver the most innovative products and services to BMW. And this is our goal, so to say. If you don't shoot for that, then it's not worth doing it. So, and at the BMW Startup Garage, we embrace these young companies and we partner with them to reach that goal.
And why is it so important to look for innovation outside the company? Not only probably, but in this case, yes.
A really good question. And so at BMW, we have brilliant engineers and brilliant employees with many ideas. But the thing is, we are not that many, you know. In fact, we are rather small as a company. And outside BMW, there are millions of brilliant ideas and brains. So, and especially in the startup ecosystem. And there are billions invested in startups. And so we want to be part of this great movement, so to say. And I mean, this is what we are. If you think about topics like sustainability, if you really want to make a serious impact on sustainability, we need all these ideas and innovation coming from startups.
And what then differentiates your program from others? Rudi already mentioned that it's the world's very first venture client approach. That sounds really good to me, so I'm excited to learn more about that. And what this holds for the startups, what kind of opportunities are in for them?
When we started in 2015, there was no such thing like a venture client approach. So we, the BMW employees, we have invented it. We are a pioneer. And we exactly know how to integrate startup technologies within BMW. We act as, let's say, a matchmaker between the startups and the BMW business units. We connect them, and we know the challenges startups are facing, and we support them to scale up their business. And this is a really great advantage of us.
Sounds like a win-win situation, that's for sure, yes.
And the huge advantage is that the startups, they get a real client, and the startups are working together with our BMW experts on a real use case. So the startups gain market experience, customer feedback, and already revenues. And if all of this works out very well, then this is the beginning of a wonderful long-term collaboration.
That sounds really, really promising. Okay, so what do startups need to do that want to participate? What are the requirements they need to meet?
So first of all, startups need to have top innovative technology. not just for our cars, but also for our systems and services. Secondly, startups need to have a prototype that can be tested to validate the technology. And the third thing is they need funding, first funding, either from a well-known accelerator or venture capital. Another thing is that they also need their own management for CEO, CTO, those important functions in their company. And everything else startups get from us. So they get experience and information about the automotive processes, and they also get a network of BMW stakeholders, which is really important for them.
It sure is, absolutely. So Startup Garage is now up and running for 6 years, since 2015, you said. So could you name some milestones or maybe even share a success story with us?
Of course, we have many milestones. So the last 6 years have been really an exciting journey. And we started from scratch, but we had one clear goal. We wanted to build the most valuable and effective corporate venturing unit. And so as soon as we figured out how things work, as Melanie just explained, we scaled up to cater a large number of projects. So that was one important milestone. And a second milestone was we went internationally by building a great global network through our technology offices worldwide. But of course, the most important milestones are our results, what we deliver. And our success story, I would like to particularly point out one success story with a company from Israel, Haifa. It's called Tactile Mobility. And what they do is they detect the condition of a road and allows our cars literally to feel the surface right under their wheels.
Wow.
And this technology goes now into every new BMW, starting with our most sustainable car, the BMW iX and i4 that is displayed over there in our show.
And a part of that X factor came from a startup. That's fantastic, yes.
Absolutely. It will bring road condition sensing to a whole new level. And tactile mobility, I mean, through our collaboration, tactile mobility scaled from prototype level into millions of cars in less than 3 years. Is that great?
That is fantastic, and probably something all our startups here are striving for as well right now. So let's have a closer look at the focus of our challenge now, the sustainability challenge. How and why can startups help the BMW Group become more sustainable, and why is it interesting for young companies to innovate on their sustainability solutions with a mobility provider such as BMW?
Sure, there are a couple of reasons. So BMW set really ambitious goal to transform our company into a sustainable one. And Rudy explained it just before that the fight against climate change and the way we treat with our resources will determine the future of us all. And with it, the future of BMW, of course. So startups definitely can help us to reach our goal much faster. And with BMW, startups find a reliable partner, a partner who is taking sustainability really seriously. But add on to that, we can even more bring on the table. So we can help startups really to scale faster to market. We can give them access to our markets, to our customer, to industry experts they need. They have access to our internal experts, to our resources, facilities, and so on. All of the things together enable startup really to understand our requirements, and so the requirements of our customer much better, and they can customize their solution to really fit the market. This is a big plus and a competitive advantage, I would say.
Great. Okay, so again, win-win. The official name of our challenge is BMW Startup Garage 360-degree Sustainability Challenge. So what do the 360 degrees stand for, Melanie? The holistic approach again?
Yeah, so the 360 degrees stands for a holistic approach to sustainability at BMW. So sustainability is not just a word, it's a lifestyle. And we at BMW, we live sustainability along the whole and entire value chain. as you can see, from production to sustainable technologies to recycled materials. And with the challenge, we called on startups to supply us in all those fields, because you cannot do sustainability here and there. You have to do it as whole.
That sounds good to me. Okay, so I don't want to keep all of you waiting any longer because you have already got to know our startuppers, their personal story, what led to their companies. And of course, it's the innovative ideas that eventually won over the jury. So let's find out more about the technologies that convinced you. And Melanie, why not start with Ryan? Same order of appearance? Okay, so you remember the gentleman with the 5 fish tanks who didn't really have a life at university. But what was very annoying back then was a blessing later on because it inspired him to found Alix. But how does this relate to the BMW Group's sustainability strategy?
Yeah, so algae pollutes our waters and is an environmental problem, as we heard. And Alix came up with the idea of converting algae into renewable materials. At BMW, those could be used now for sustainable interior parts like cup holders, armrests, or floor mats. And this can reduce the consumption of oil and plastic at BMW.
Okay, really great. Ryan, we have a well-deserved trophy for you. It will be shipped to you right after this event. Melanie's going to show it to you. We hope you are happy and proud to receive it. Are you?
Yes! Thank you. This is great.
Obviously. Okay, greetings again to Meridian, Mississippi, USA. Fantastic job, Ryan. Bernard, let's talk about Oleg, the gentleman we also now see in the background, whose startup was basically a legacy since the idea came from his, was inspired by his late father, a very emotional story as well. How could a collaboration with Ecotech Recycling add value to the BMW Group?
Yeah, Oleg said it. Old and used end-of-life tires are really one of the biggest solid waste problems. And what excited us about Ecotech recycling technology, they found a way, a technology to process and manufacture synthetic rubber out of old tires. And we see a potential to use up to 25% of synthetic rubber in our BMW tires, which is huge. And we are not talking only about tires. You know, in our cars we have lots of rubber-based materials like floor mats, seals, isolation materials, and here we can even maybe add in more percentage of this active rubber. And it is a ISO-certified solutions by TÜV. It has a super positive carbon footprint of 6 tons per each ton. And it's a fully circular solution, enabling us really to recycle materials in a meaningful way. Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Oleg, also for you. We have a beautiful trophy.
Thank you very much.
And
we truly appreciate your apprehension of our technology and the things that we are trying to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you. Your applause, your trophy will be shipped to you right after the event. Yeah, thank you so much. And Melanie, let's move on to Douglas, right? Shall we?
Right.
Okay, so Douglas, who said he must be a tiny little bit mad because he used to work in bomb defusal. We love him for being a little bit mad because it led to Circular. So he won over the jury with his vision for decarbonization of supply chains. How can this help the BMW Group to get even more sustainable?
As we heard, Circular has developed a simple-to-use, scalable blockchain platform to measure emissions along the supply chain. BMW could track raw materials from source to components to finished product, and this would help us to know exactly which parts are the most polluting and work on reducing emissions for the future.
Sounds good to me. Douglas, we have a little challenge. Thanks to COVID, we are not allowed to personally hand over your trophy to you. So now you have to pick it up yourself, but we support you with a big round of applause. We have the photographer in place to capture this memorable moment for you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Bernard, a completely different topic, microwave solutions. Remember Florian and the egg that triggered the entire startup journey, although unfortunately he was not able to settle this world-shaking question of which came first, chicken or egg. At least he managed to shake up the BMW jury. How exactly?
Yeah, I really like the egg story. But what I like more is that microwave solution, they have a process and technology to treat unsorted and mixed materials. So again, the example of a tire, for example, they found a way to really recycle a whole tire, all of it, metal, rubber, plastic parts in it. And this is really cool and promising for us. And plus, they have a scalable system. So they can do a plant-based big scale system, but also a modular container-based system. And that can enable us to install recycling facilities everywhere in the world on site. Really cool solution, yeah.
Really cool, Florian. So your trophy is there for you. Also, our photographer wants to capture this memorable moment for posterity. Your best winning smile shouldn't be too difficult right now. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Melly, let's talk about Ashwat. Having grown up in the chilly climes of Canada, he was totally puzzled by the lack of air conditioning at his family's home in India. This experience later led to a great and sustainable business idea. How and why could Skyool system have an impact on the BMW Group's sustainability?
Cooling every BMW building takes a lot of water and electricity. And traditional cooling systems or technologies require a lot of maintenance too. So Skyool systems dual mode panels could either be integrated in existing air conditioning systems or replaced them completely. And that would allow BMW to save up to 80% on energy.
Wow, that's quite a lot. Once again, Ashwat, your applause and your trophy will be shipped to you. We hope you're happy to receive it.
Thank you. We are grateful and delighted to know that we've won this award. Thank you again.
We thank you. Greetings to Mountain View, California. And last but not least, Erwe, who bravely fought his way to the trade show of mobility, although himself being anything but mobile right now. But of course, it's not Erwe's crutches that convinced the jury, but it's Tiamat's sodium-ion battery cells. Tell us a bit more how these can help BMW to bring mobility to a next level.
So batteries are always important for us. And we need batteries for our vehicles. If you look at all the cars here displayed in the show, they all have batteries, hybrid vehicle, electric vehicle, and so on. And Tiamat's sodium-ion based batteries offer the high power, fast charging, and they have superior safety. And moreover, they are light and even maybe cheaper for us. So very interesting technology. But what excites us most about that, and this is the reason why they already made it to the finalists, is the fact that they are based on sodium. Sodium is abundant in the world. Even in Europe, you can easily source it. And this has the potential really to make BMW Group supply chain more independent and avoid transportation, over long distance, for example.
Okay, really good, Erwe.
You really deserve it.
Do you think you will make it to the spotlight? That's where you belong. We will support you. Congratulations, Erwe, Bœuf. Thank you very much. Félicitations. Melanie, Bernard, thank you so much for these exclusive insights. Once again, congratulations to our startups for this fantastic job. And I feel we could talk for hours about this important topic of sustainability and your hopes and wishes for the startups that you have discovered. But I would like to know from our startups what they hope for, wish for, their goals, their ideas for a cooperation with BMW. And well, I wondered how can we do so, since only 50% of them are here in person today. today. How can we talk to all of them at the same time? And then I thought about, well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so why not create a picture with words? And we have a little tool for that called Mentimeter. So please, dear startuppers, here in the audience and out there at home, take out your smartphones, go to menti.com and log in. The code for you is 18887. Only the startups, please. Tell us in simple words, what are your hopes, your expectations, your wishes, your goals? And then we will create a word cloud. That will, of course, take a little while. So while our word cloud, oh, the first word is already there, great. So while our word cloud comes to life, let me ask also the two of you, what are your hopes and expectations, wishes and goals, and where do you see the future of the BMW Startup Garage?
We heard about the tactile mobility success stories, so it would be great to have more success stories, to have innovative startup technologies, to integrate in our cars and products and to make them more attractive and more innovative for our customers. That would be great.
It sure would. Bernard?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So this is what we are shooting for. This is all why we put all the effort into it, and what motivates my team and me every day. So
when we have a look at the words now, still popping up,
Yeah.
but we have joint vision, trustful partnership, guidance, support, inspiration, so many beautiful terms. Advice is very much appreciated. Is this a bit what you also have in mind, the two of you?
yeah, absolutely. It's a great fit.
Absolutely.
And revenue, I see, is a good one. We all want revenue, especially if it turns into sustainable growth. And what else do we have? Guidance and support. This is also a good one, because we see ourselves as kind of a key account, and we want to guide and support our startups along the way to serious implementation, of course. So, as I said, far beyond our program. Yeah, really good match, I would say.
I love this. Good. Okay. We looked and talked a lot about sustainability today, which is a major topic for BMW and key topic of the IAA Mobility 2021, but it's probably not the only area in which you are looking for innovative startups, or is it?
No, it's not. So sustainability is one of our so-called enablers, but we also look for startups and innovations for our other business units like development, production, services. So we are looking for startup innovations for the whole BMW Group and for every area of the BMW Group.
That sounds good. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you are an innovative startup innovating on outstanding technologies, why not register? Just go to the website at www.bmwstartupgarage.com and sign up. Fingers crossed, maybe we can welcome you in 2 years on this stage again in Munich at IAA or even earlier. Driving innovation and shaping a sustainable future for all is a question of teamwork. We are all in this together, and I strongly believe we are in it to win it. Thank you very much for watching.